Gary, can you give us your thoughts on tonight's performance?
Yeah, disappointing in many ways with ourselves, and of course incredibly disappointed with the main decision of the night, which I think has turned the game really completely on its head as to how it could have been. But we didn't start with enough commitment, really. I don't necessarily mean commitment in terms of the physical sense, but just commitment to how we needed to play. The game was fairly open. I thought the game would probably be even more physical, but it was fairly open. We had some really good opportunities to counter, and we just didn't really commit to it. We ended up countering with two bodies, and everyone else just stood watching like 50 yards away. And then when we needed to defend well, we didn't defend well. If you look at the first goal, the ball gets hoisted into the box. We've got two defenders there. The ball bounces in between both of them. We don't deal with it. We have a chance still to clear it. We don't deal with it, and the lad taps it in. I mean, it's a very, very poor goal, and I've not said that too often recently. So, we have to take that on the chin. And then the second goal, of course, Clayton ends up in a great position. I mean, it's a lovely little flick from John. He ends up 8 yards, centre of the goal, about to score with his right foot. And for what I've never seen a player in my life go down when they don't need to in that sort of situation. I understand if a ball's wide of the box and you've knocked it too far, I can get it. I can see why people might do that, but it was a blatant penalty and a blatant sending off because he was the last man. And at that point, you scored a penalty, it's 1-1 and they're down to 10. As it happens, it couldn't have been any worse. He doesn't give the penalty, tells me that he went down too easily and there was no contact, which I find very hard to believe. And then we don't do our jobs defensively again. The keeper kicks it, goes straight down the middle of the pitch, and Graham runs away and scores a second. And apart from a real go second half, and apart from us hitting the bar and having 2 or 3 chances, if we'd have scored one, I'm pretty sure the game would have been much, much different. Played better second half, but again, we're saying the same sort of thing as we're saying at QPR. Concede 2 very, very poor goals, very poor refereeing decision, and unfortunately, the game's too far for us.
You mentioned the second half. Diego Fabrini's performance must have been a highlight as well.
Yeah, I thought he came on. He was brave. Diego got on the ball, showed some really good glimpses of what we know he can do. Again, we took a gamble and put him and John on. I felt at that stage we had to chase it. We knew we'd be open to the counter. I think we were at times, but we managed to deal with it a little bit better than when we had our shape first half. So we had to be brave. I felt we were brave on the ball without really causing them enough problems. We've had all the ball. They've done what we do so well. They drop in, they make it hard to break down, they counter, stick the ball into space and they chase it, and they did it really, really well. And I think sometimes we have to understand that when we do that well, we're a really good side. When we play in between, we're just okay, and that's probably the frustration tonight. But we've got to move on quickly. I think the results went well for us again. So once more, you're at the stage of a season where everyone's getting edgy, everyone's getting nervy, everyone's finding it hard to win games and put a string of results together. And that's just a championship for you. So, but we've got to aspire to be a little bit better than tonight.
The side have always proven to react as well and bounce back, and the perfect way to do that in a local derby on Sunday.
Well, we're having to at the moment. Every game it's like a big performance, poor performance, big performance, poor performance. So let's just hope it continues with that. So, but again, look, we just sort of lost a little bit of rhythm away from home, I think, and it might be that we have to look at 1 or 2 things or 1 or 2 different ways of playing, because we've only won 1 in sort of 8 or 9 after doing so well at the start of the season. So that's something I think we're going to have to give a little bit of thought to.